Evening, Leroy. How are you? Welcome to From the Pressbox.
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good. Football's a stupid sport.
I hate it. It's a dumb sport. Awful sport.
It is a stupid.
You know what? I don't know why I subject myself to this torture and misery every single week. Yet, guess where I am at noon every single Sunday?
We'll talk about that. That'll be it.
What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different.
Hey, Christy.
Hi.
Do you want to come in and have a part on the show? No, immediately slams the door.
Okay.
Oh, there she is. Oh, look, it's Christy. Here, we'll even go full screen and bring her in there. Look at that. It's the better half of the Clamola duo. There we go.
I gotta go clean the kids' room, so.
A early cameo for one Christy. Leroy, big show to plan here
We
today.
have a lot of stuff to talk about.
A lot to get to. We'll recap the pick contest. The Cougs, Leroy. The Cougs took one on the chin. We'll talk about that. Paul says he can't see the chat box. I don't know what that means, that he can't see the chat box. We can see yours.
I see yours.
I don't know. We'll talk about that. NFL, we'll touch on that. Leroy, I had to be handy, and it's ended up. We're gonna mention that here a little bit later on.
Okay.
Hall of Fame tidbits, logos, play clock, autographs. I assume. Are we doing that?
We are doing autographs tonight. Yep.
And then I also I have to close out too with kind of an off my chest of sorts too. Something that I don't know if it's an off my chest or if it's, in Family Guy where Peter Griffin does, it really grinds my gears.
Yep.
That might be more of something that grinds my gears per se, but it'll be something that we'll get to a little bit later on in the show. But first off, it's time to recap our pick contest from last week. Started off, Grayson County hosted North Bullitt in the playoffs, and we'll come back to that in just a moment, but that was a loss. So no points there. The Cougs fell in that game. Kentucky against Murray State, we all got the point there. Leroy's the only one that got the point for Ohio State against, there we go, logo's out, Dan. Logo's out. Leroy's the only one that got the point for Ohio State against Northwestern. The only reason, though, reason is just for the pure. So congrats on your 1 point.
It was so funny because I have a couple of Ohio State friends, and I didn't get to see the game. I was at Illinois, so I didn't get to see the game other than the final score. But all I see is complaining about the first quarter. Y'all won 31-7. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch a single second of it. What I'm saying is that the chat box is below my screen and I can't see it to type.
Sounds like a you problem, Paul.
That sounds like I should have an iPhone instead of an Android problem.
Oh, I can't say anything on that because Android's the better phone. So,
except it's not.
We have everything like 2 years.
Western against Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech won that game in an ugly game for the Tops. So none of us got the point there. Bengals, we don't need to talk about that. We all got the pick for the Packers against the Bears. None of us got Rutgers beating Maryland, right? Leroy in America got Utah State over Hawaii. We all got South Carolina, and then Leroy, you were the lone person to go with the Chiefs against the Bills, but the Bills did win that. So the pick contest results, Leroy, despite having the opportunity for the most points, tied for first. 5 with America, who also had 5, and I was right behind with only 4 points for that. So to go our overall standings so far right now, I am in first place at 70. Leroy's now only 6 behind at 64, and America is in third place at 61. Christy asks, wait a minute, who's the one that keeps throwing their phone?
Listen, don't even start with me about my phone, because my phone is like... I'm pretty sure there are phones in prison that work better than my phone.
Is that so? I don't know. Maybe if you had an iPhone, it would be different when it come to that. Leroy, though, we got to start off with we'll start off with some negative here. There's a lot of negative really for us to get to football wise over the weekend, but we'll start it off with the Cougs. Cougs lost on Friday.
What
20
happened? What
29
happened?
in overtime. They lost 29-28 in overtime. So they played probably their worst game of the season. Just did not play well.
Worst time to play their worst game of the season.
They got out to an early 7-0 lead. North Bullitt went up 14-7. Cougs came back and tied it 21-21. They get the ball with 3.5 minutes to go. Tie game. You're thinking, here we go. This is the drive that moments are made of, dreams.
Yep.
Cougar senior quarterback rolls out. Interception. North Bullitt gets the ball inside the 20-yard line. And you're thinking, well, this was fun. North Bullitt takes the play down. They have a decision. There is 18 seconds left in regulation. It's 21-all. Ball's on the 2-yard line, 4th down and goal. Their kicker, who was a girl, they trot out there to attempt the game-winning kick instead of going for the win that way and trying to get a touchdown. Trots are out there. Cougs block the field goal. Send it into overtime. North Bullitt wins the toss. And Grayson County gets the ball first. They score. They go up 28-21. North Bullitt then goes in and scores. They go for 2. They extend it out, run up, and go into the end zone to win 29-28 and pull off the upset. That's the thing that we were talking about. Is there a worse way? And it was one of these discussions that we were having. So my color analyst, his final game ever. My color analyst. My color analyst, his final game ever, they lost by like 45. And we were having the discussion of, would you rather lose by 45 and be able to prepare yourself knowing this is the final time you're ever putting on the pads, or would you rather have your heart ripped out at the end but know that you're one play away? And it was just a tough discussion to have, but it was a heartbreaking end to the season for Grayson County. No doubt about that. Are you there?
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, my. The delay is kicking in here. Are you there? Okay. Why don't you try backing out and coming back in? Because right now we are not getting really anything from you whatsoever. Your mouth is moving, but you're not actually talking. So I don't really know what it is. So why don't you back out and come back in? And we'll come back in. And hopefully that'll fix things. We haven't had a Leroy computer issue it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had Leroy having issues with it. John says he'd rather lose a close one. Christy says ... It's been a while. I mean, it's been a couple of months since we've had Leroy computer issues. So hopefully he can fix the issue. I did see Paul sent me a message here to see what his issue is. That's weird, Paul. I don't really know what the issue is with that. I don't know what the problem is. Did you try force closing the app and maybe coming back in? I don't really know what the problem is. But on the show here coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL as well. And then we got to talk about the Hall of Fame inductions. I don't know now why Leroy's now not coming immediately back in. I don't know what he's doing and what's taking him so long to come out. John, of course, we're going to shout out the Sports Jungle as well. We always love our guys at the Jungle. They're coming in. Leroy is AFK. Christy, is Leroy alive now? Now I'm a little worried as to what has taken him so long to jump back in, and maybe he's trying to get his phone ready to do the show on his phone. But what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and talk about something that I was getting ready to with had to come to the laptop. He's glitching because the Bears lost to Green Bay. Yeah, that's part of it, Dan. He didn't really have it, and I don't know. He's trying to fix it, says Christy. I don't really know what the issue is when it comes to this, but I'm gonna have to just I'm hearing a good sound. It's buffering. Oh, look who it is. Oh gosh, now I hear myself. Oh, that's awful.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. I feel like we're in the old, what was it, Verizon commercials?
Shut up!
Yes, we hear you now. We hear you now.
All right.
I wonder why you were being you were being very quiet when I was talking about the Cougs, and I thought you were just letting us have the moment, and then I asked you something and it just nothing came out, but it was like this. I'm like, he's clearly saying something, either that or you're just making fun of us.
I could hear everything you were saying. Apparently you couldn't hear me. So naturally, as usual, I didn't know there was anything wrong until you didn't hear me responding to you. No, what I was saying was I thought it was crazy that there was a girls, when the girls lost in the first round of the playoffs in that last second bizarre situation. I've never closed a broadcast so fast in my life because I knew if I stayed on the broadcast that I would say things that I probably shouldn't. And it was just one of those things where, like, coming off a big loss like that in a game that you expected to win, it's just one of those things where it was like, and the final score is 49-48. You're listening to Taylor Basketball. Have a great night, everyone. And I did. It wasn't that short, but like, it just really felt like one of those situations where it was like, I just need to get off the air because if I stay on, it's just going to be an absolute problem.
And see, I waited until the time, waited for some of the celebration. But, if Grayson County would have stopped on that play, I would have described the celebration a little bit more. Whereas when it came to the North Bullet celebration, I didn't really describe that whatsoever. But disappointing season. But now we jump into basketball season. So I'm now in that weird, 2-week stretch here where I now get to bump up and start.
Ironic that Dan's talking about people not showing up.
Yeah, he's not somebody that's been on very recently. A little bit about that. Oh, somebody else is asking about people not showing up.
What is your problem with the Bears, Aaron? Like, I don't understand. You're a Commanders fan. We have zero rivalry, yet you come after me all the time, man. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Inquiring minds want to know what your hatred is with a team that's horrible. I know the Commanders have had such a rousing years of success over in Washington. You guys have done really, really well over the years, haven't you?
You okay? Do you need to take just? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. You could be a Cowboys fan. You could be a Cowboys fan.
Or a Jets fan. But yes, let's make sure we focus on the crummy team that's 4-6.
At least you're not 4-7.
Hey boy.
Did you watch Bengals on Sunday night?
I watched quite a bit of it, yeah.
There is not a more Bengals thing than that on Sunday night. There is not a more Bengals thing on Sunday night.
I just want to point out that the Chargers did everything right that Eberflus messed up on.
Okay. Oh, no.
Timeout to set the defense for a Hail Mary. Made sure to run one extra play before the clock. I mean,
are you there? And okay. Yeah, the delay is kicking up here again. Okay, wow. The delay is drastic right now. That is wild. Because you were doing so good there for a stretch, but my goodness. And I don't know. And I'll ask the comment section. Is it just me? Because if it's just me, then I'll live with it. And I don't know if it's maybe my headphones or my connection or something like that. But if it is. So Paul cannot comment either. We're just having all sorts of issues here today. All sorts of issues. It's just that. It's honestly a microcosm of what the NFL is. It is stinking right now. Wait a second. You just nodded when I said that, so maybe you're back. Try it again.
Am I?
Oh. Okay. How are you today?
I am.
Oh, hey, you're back to normal. Okay. You're back to normal now.
Okay. As I was saying, I found it hysterical. Hey, Bert, you're a Lions-Packers fan. Your point is moot. You have no opinion whatsoever. You like both teams, you loser. I just find it.
You're a little hungry today, aren't you?
the Bears are like number 15 right now in draft pick, but sure, let's pick on them.
We were talking about the Bengals and their issues right now.
I know, but they all seem to be coming straight for me, man.
I think it's because of Caleb Williams.
But the thing is, and he looked good. The new offensive coordinator, they look good. Packers may be laughing, but I don't understand where they're laughing from. I mean, y'all were worried. Don't even give me that crap. So what I was saying was I found it funny that the Chargers did everything right at the end there. I know we can talk about the game and the Bengals, that first half really, really killed you guys. I think the second half, you guys really, like, whatever Zach told that group in the locker room worked, because you guys came out in the second half playing much, much better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a drastic thing between the first and the second half. And I mean, listen, they had chances to win in the second half. You missed 2 field goals at the end. You had the ball still and didn't necessarily go down and score. And it was just the Bengals have found every possible way to break our hearts this season. It is just a microcosm. And the worst part is that Joe Burrow is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL. And
yeah, I saw a comment that said really Burrow was on the Steelers, they'd be undefeated.
You deserve to be kicked. I'm saying, even just mentioning that. Like, that is the worst thing a human being can say. Like,
I know.
It is just, you should be ashamed of yourself. How about I want to change gears here later, and let's talk about something other than sports here for a second, because I want to say, for one, something that is very easy in life and something that is way too hard in life that connected my life this week. So
you found a girl and you lost your job?
Last week I was driving home from doing a center basketball game, and I flipped my turn signal. As you know, I'm very passionate about my turn signal, and it starts clicking at a rate that is different than it usually was, and I was like, that's a little weird.
You lost the headlight?
Yeah, so my turn signal had burned out. So on Monday, I go to the store and I look in their little book, and it says, okay, you need bulb 18 or, whatever it is. Perfect. Go in there, buy my bulb. And I also bought windshield wipers. I'm like, great.
I think I know where this story is going, boys.
Okay. So I go in there, and yeah, I learned that was what, like, when I got home, I was able to test and see that was, it is. I just never heard that before. And that was immediately what my thought was. I was like, that's probably my car actually saying, wow. I'm like, I didn't know it was that smart. Perfect. So I'm searching in my car to try and find the light. And I mean, you got to get all the way in there. And that's kind of what I'm saying is my car's not that old. It's 2019. Why is it so hard to change the light, the headlight? Because it's all the way in there. But I'm also pulling it out, and I'm immediately looking. And this bulb that I was pulling out, the one that I bought, is only, that big or so. But I'm pulling out all of these. One of them is actually the headlight. I'm like, I know it's not that one. And I pull out another one that was in the vicinity of the car that was the turn signal. That I was thinking, okay, this has got to be it. But it was not the same bulb. And I'm sitting there, and finally it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm done for today. Done for today. Can't do this anymore. So I slammed the door, and then I changed my windshield wipers. And in the process, I guess I didn't lift up the windshield wiper that was not, because I was in the process of doing it. It went and it slammed down and it cracked my windshield. So I'm like, great, this is just perfect. But for things that are easy, I now have an appointment to get the entire windshield changed for free. Ironically enough, that they're also giving me free windshield wipers. And I'm like, this is great because I just bought those, put them on the car, not like I can return it.
You have to change your blinker.
So this leads me to then Tuesday. I go back out there and I'm like, you know what? I bet I bought the wrong bulb. So I Google it. Yeah, I did. I brought the wrong bulb because their book was wrong. So I went back, bought the bulb, and was able to fix it. But still, the inside, why is it so hard to change that? And I'm not saying like it's not, it's more just to get in there. Like it is 2019. How can we not? I get that, but it's like, how,
In the
why is it
words of
so
Sam
hard?
Gormley, in the words of Sam Gormley,
Yes.
it's all about money.
Paul, I'm not that.
We can't have you
inept
being
when
able
it
to
comes
change
cars.
things easily. Come on now.
It is just one of those things that like I was having to reach in there, and it was almost the point where to get in there, I was almost like, so my next door neighbor has like a 4-year-old, and I was like, can you stick your hand in there because your hand's actually small enough to get in there? Because it's like I don't know how somebody like luckily, I'm a thinner guy, yeah, and I'm like I gotta like contort my body to get it in there, and then I was like, okay, it was my left turn signal that had burned out, and I was like, well, let's just go ahead and turn the right one. Yeah, no. I got annoyed and I was like, nope, not happening today. Done. Not happening.
Well,
but again, that's
sometimes you just have to walk away. Clearly, I need to learn that lesson a little bit more, particularly in the fourth quarter of a football game.
Oh, being an adult is just fun when it comes to that. NFL Hall of Fame. Was it easier to change the bulb or get the stool out of my trunk?
Can I just say one last thing about the?
Well, here, let me answer. Was it easier to change the bulb or get the stool out of your truck?
Oh,
trunk? No,
that's a good point.
No. It both were equally frustrating to do. You know what they say about men with big hands? Listen, I got big hands.
They got big feet.
Bigger feet. What size shoe do you wear?
8? 9.
Okay. Leroy could probably fit in there. Leroy could probably jump in there, if we're being honest. Yeah. Like, you could probably get all snug in there. What were you wanting to say?
Just one last thing about the Green Bay game. I need you to understand that I am so tarnished on these games that I didn't have a Facebook post ready to go. I didn't have, any message ready for my Packer friends. I didn't have anything. I didn't even I really just kind of sat there on my couch and just it's almost like you just almost expect it. You almost just expect it. So I need you to know that the reaction that I think a lot of people were hoping I would have, I had for the Commanders game, but I definitely did not have it for Green Bay. I'm just so numb to all of it that it just doesn't. I had the Aroldis Chapman big old smile on his face after he gave up the home run against Houston. That's how I feel now. Every time they blow a game, I'm just like,
It happened again. See, the worst part is, Christy, the school basketball season returns. I'm like, here we go again. Let's not do this. Yeah, my car and I have interesting relationships, but it's more just like, why is it so hard? Why is it so
they can't make it easy for you because they want you to take it back to the mechanics so they can make more money.
Exactly. And it was almost to the point where I was like, am I really going to have to drive to because I'm like, I can't fit my hand in there. And then I can touch it, but I'm like, I got to, my hand doesn't bend enough to twist. It's just, it's frustrating. NFL Hall of Fame finalists came out as well this week.
Yep.
Willie Anderson needs to be in for the Bengals.
You want to go over the list?
I mean, you can. I'm just saying the Willie Anderson absolutely needs to be in.
I'm going to read the names. You tell me yes or no, and then we'll leave it to the comments to say yes or no as well. All right? So, Eli Manning.
Yes.
No, but he will be.
This is true, Paul. This is true. If I was younger, I'd be more flexible.
I'm going to mess up his last name, but Luke Kuechly?
Kuechly,
thank you.
He didn't play a long time. I think his lack of longevity is going to hurt him.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to go with no, but Luke probably, I like Luke. I thought he was a good player. I just never knew how to say his last name. Steve Smith Sr.
No.
Earl Thomas.
Probably not.
No. Adam Vinatieri.
Kicker. I mean, Kuechly. Probably Vinatieri, yes. I know John doesn't like Adam Vinatieri at all. Probably thinks he's overrated. But I'm going to say yes to Vinatieri.
And I am too. He changed the position of the kicker for the better. Jared Allen?
No.
Yes. Terrell Suggs?
I can't vote for Raven.
All right. Antonio Gates?
He was good. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes to Antonio Gates. Yeah.
Marshall Yanda?
No.
James Harrison?
Hell no.
Vince Wilfork?
And that and is that bias with him? Yes, absolutely. James Harrison. He was a 1-year Bengal. Absolutely biased.
Vince Wilfork?
No.
Yes. Willie Anderson?
Hell yes. He deserves to be in. Hell yes, he does. Willie Anderson in his career against Hall of Fame pass rushers gave up 1 career sack.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
1 career sack.
All
Paul,
right.
you better not be saying no to Willie Anderson.
Torrey Holt?
No.
Anquan Bolden?
No.
Reggie Wayne?
Yeah. I really just want to say no just to piss John off.
John?
So I'm going to say no. Reggie Wayne, most overrated. The only reason he was good is because Peyton Manning.
Jari Evans?
No, I don't think that name doesn't ring a bell.
He was a guard. Rodney Harrison?
Hall
of very good. Eric Allen?
No.
Robert Mathis?
Yeah, probably.
Fred Taylor?
Probably not.
Heinz Ward?
Hell, absolutely never. Heinz Ward is one of the dirtiest MFers that's ever played in the NFL. Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely
Ricky
not.
Waters?
Did you say yes?
Yes.
Chad Johnson has better stats than him. Why the hell isn't Chad Johnson in there? Why didn't your computer start glitching again? Better that way.
Ricky Waters?
What position does he play?
He played for the Saints, didn't he? Somebody in the comments help me out. He played for the Saints, I think. Running back. Richmond Webb. I don't know who that is. Tackle.
The tackles are so, because, we don't know what we're talking about when it comes to that.
Steve Wisniewski.
I can't look for my phone.
She can't find her phone.
No, she can't find her bottle.
Oh. I'm going to say no to Wisniewski, but I don't know.
And Darren Woodson. Yes.
Yeah, he was good.
Darren Woodson was amazing. Yeah, absolutely. There's our list. What? No, the kid's bottle is missing, and she's absolutely having a meltdown. And Christy wonders why I do this show from at work.
I was going to say, not your problem, though. Can you drive now?
Yeah.
Then why aren't you doing it from work? Or have you just enjoyed it from doing it from your house?
I've enjoyed being in my bedroom and doing it, but that might change next week because, quite frankly, tonight's really annoyed me. So there's the list of all the eligible players for the Hall of Fame, and I want to say that this class there's gonna be some players that are gonna be upset that they got left off. This is a very stacked class overall, probably one of the more stacked classes. I said Ricky Waters played for the Saints. Don't start with me, Paul.
Ricky Waters didn't play in my lifetime, Paul.
Yeah, I know who Ricky Waters played for. Don't start with me. But again, this class was super stacked. It's been a while since we've had a really stacked class like this. So it'll be interesting to see what decisions they make. But I have a feeling that there's going to be some low-key upset people that they don't get in this year just because they can only pick 8. And there's way more than 8 that probably deserve to get in this year.
Yeah, there's no question about things like that as well. Did you have more Hall of Fame that you were looking at as well?
I did. So baseball came out with a list, and I wanted to go over this list with you really quick. They have the active players versus average Hall of Famers by position. Okay, so it gives you the
Say that again.
The active players versus the average Hall of Famer by position. Okay, so they have it broken down by B War. Okay, and so I'll give you the player. Well, I'll just read some of these to you here. I'll read a couple of these to you. Maybe if my computer ever wants to cooperate, which it doesn't. Well, that didn't work. There we go. All right. Catcher. So the average Hall of Fame catcher is 53.7. The closest player is JT Realmuto, who's at 36. So no active catchers are even close. Realmuto, Salvador Perez, and Wilson Contreras are on that list, but not even close to it. Average Hall of Fame first baseman. What do you think, Sam, of the average Hall of Fame or average Hall of Famer? What first basemen that are playing active right now do you think have the best shot of getting in?
Goldschmidt.
He is at a 62.8. The average Hall of Famer is 64.
So was that the correct answer then?
It was. He's the closest. Goldschmidt's the closest with 62.
Was Alonso next?
Nope. Freddie Freeman's next with 60.7. Your least favorite first baseman is third.
He's not a Hall of Famer, though. And that's not biased, I don't think. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
He's only 39.8, Sam.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think he was actually a Hall of Famer.
I wasn't defending it. I was just
Freddie Freeman, yeah.
All right. Second baseman.
Oh, gosh. Altuve?
Yep, but he's at 52. The average Hall of Fame second baseman is 69.7. There's nobody close.
What is he really at, though? Like, is he really like 35 right now? Meaning the scandal? Like, how much is that? How much is that?
I bet it's way lower.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it's way lower. Shorts. That's the only second baseman on that list. Shortstop.
Because shortstop, there's like, are you classifying Mookie in as a shortstop?
I'll give you the list, and you tell me who's closest. Okay. Trey Turner, Corey Seager, Xander Bogaerts, Carlos Correa, Marcus Semien, and Francisco Lindor.
Lindor is probably the highest.
Lindor is the highest. Semien's in second. Lindor's got 49.6 out of that 67. All right. Third baseman.
Arenado?
Turner, Bregman, Chapman, Ramirez, Arenado, and Machado.
Arenado.
Machado, actually, just barely. And all of these have been way short. Machado, 57.8. Arenado, 56.7. The average Hall of Fame third baseman is 69. Nice. All right. Left field, Marte, Soto, and Yelich.
Yelich
is closest. He's still 24 shy. He's got 41.9. Average Hall of Famer left fielder is 65.1. All right. Center field.
And see, that's such an open on who you're classifying as a center fielder.
The two that are on here are McCutchen and Trout.
Oh, Trout. Yeah.
Trout is the only guy that's on this list that is active duty, that is above the average Hall of Famer. The average Hall of Fame center fielder is 71. Mike Trout, 86. Andrew McCutchen, that's sitting at 49.3. In right field, and I'll just finish this up here. In right field, average Hall of Fame right field, 71.1. Mookie Betts is in first with 69.6. Aaron Judge is in second with 52, and Bryce Harper is in third with 51. All right. Starting pitchers. There are 4 starting pitchers that are above the average WAR of 73.
Verlander, Scherzer, Kershaw. Verlander, Scherzer, Kershaw. Probably those 3, right?
Those 3. There's one more, and I don't know if he's still playing.
DeGrom?
Greinke.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know that Greinke's still officially a guy still.
Yeah, so 80, 79, 77, and 75. It goes in order of Verlander, Kershaw, Greinke, and Scherzer. Average Hall of Fame starting pitcher is 73. Sale and DeGrom are right behind, and then Shohei's there, but I would imagine that Shohei is going to probably jump a little bit higher. And then relief pitchers, Kimbrel, Jansen, Robertson, and Chapman, and they're not close there. Kimbrel's at 22. Average Hall of Fame relief pitcher is 39.1. So not a whole lot of active players right now that have a real good shot of making the playoffs, Sam.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes as it goes along. You got any tidbits? Or you want to jump into some logos here?
I do. So they have the 12-team college football bracket projection. Let's take a look at this. I'll give you the matchup. You tell me who wins. You ready?
Okay.
BYU versus Ohio State.
That's in Ohio State, so Ohio State wins.
Okay. Alabama at Notre Dame.
Bama.
Georgia at Penn State.
A massacre. Georgia would win that game.
Gee, look at this SEC
30.
bias. Oh, three losses should get me in. Shut up. Ole Miss at Indiana.
They actually play real teams.
You played Mercer last week. Alabama played Mercer.
Yeah, but Alabama's also played Georgia. They've played Texas. They've played Texas A&M.
No team should be in the. Why do we even have the college football playoffs if you're just going to have a 3-loss team make the playoffs? This whole thing is stupid. I don't even know why I'm having this conversation with you, Mr. SEC bias.
Ole Miss would beat Indiana too. Indiana, I'm really interested this week to see, because I mean, let's be real, and this is not like Indiana hadn't really beaten anybody.
It is a little bit.
Indiana hadn't beaten anybody yet. They haven't. That's just, I mean, okay, Michigan's their best win. Michigan's having their worst year in a couple of years. So this weekend against Ohio State, I'm interested to see how they are. And I'm sure you are too. Like, is Indiana legit or are they not?
Yeah. But if Big Ten had 3 teams with 3 losses, you'd be like, oh, they don't deserve to get in.
No,
SEC's so much better. Shut up.
Damn right I would.
Second round, Ohio State versus Boise State.
That would be the second round?
That'd be quarterfinals.
They have Boise State getting a bye?
What right now, if the bracket ended right now, Boise State is 4th.
No, that's not accurate. There's
Okay.
no way.
I printed this off today.
Bro, they did. Wow. Really? Really? I'm looking at this. Okay. Yeah. Ohio State.
I'll take my apology.
No, why are they a bye? But okay, that blows my mind. So who are they taking off the byline? They're taking the Big 12 champion. Okay, BYU since they lost. Wow. Okay. Wow. I more just didn't see that. That would have stood out. Ohio State would win that game.
Okay. Alabama versus Oregon.
That would be a good game, but probably Oregon would win.
Okay. Georgia versus Miami.
Georgia.
And Ole Miss versus Texas.
Texas.
Okay.
And you'd have Georgia against Ohio State in the championship.
So you got Ohio State beating Oregon?
Yes.
Second
Oregon? Time that game. No, it would be a neutral site.
Oh, okay.
No, only the first round are the only ones at home fields. And then they move on to neutral sites from then on. And I think, Oregon got them once. I don't think they'll get them a second time. I'm just blown away that Boise State was that. That blows my mind.
Now for actual tidbits. Astros announced Minute Maid Park will be now known as Dakin Park. Dakin develops, manufactures, sells, and supports heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration, which is ironic because Minute Maid Park doesn't have any AC.
Will it though? It's like, I always love it. It's like Paul Brown Stadium is always Paul Brown Stadium. It's just funny to me. It's like if Wrigley Field tomorrow changed to...
I still call the Sears Tower Sears Tower. It hasn't been Sears Tower in 18 years.
It's not even the Willis Tower. Is it still the Willis Tower?
It is, I think. Okay. But no one is... You can always tell who's from Chicago and who's not because no one that lives in Chicago ever calls it that.
Like Kentucky plays at Commonwealth Stadium, not Kruger Field.
Right. And you'll still catch me saying Comiskey every once in a while, too. It hasn't been Comiskey in like 30 years either.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the Jets? The owner has gone on to say that he wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers after their loss to the Jets. They did fire their GM this week. We always joke about how bad the situation is in various areas, but the Jets look awful right now. Your thoughts on the Jets, Sam?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is 40. Father Time comes from
He looks like Mike Tyson out there. He looks like Mr. Buffer himself. Yeah, not good.
Didn't watch 1 second, and I'm glad I didn't. And see, luckily I would have been, and I'm sure this is on your tidbits. Luckily, I wouldn't have been mad. Like, I don't even know what I would have done. I'd have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Did you try to watch it?
I did watch the whole thing.
Did it fail for you?
It paused a bunch of times and I had to restart it a bunch, but I did watch the whole thing.
And I heard it was awful.
The women's fight was fantastic. The men's fight, and my dad asked me when we went to the Illini game, my dad asked me, he goes, how was the fight? And I said, Dad, and you've seen my father. I said, Dad, it'd be the equivalent of if I gave you 3 weeks of training and you and I went out to the ring. That's what it looked like.
He'd kick your ass.
Shut up. Shut up. Boston Bruins fired their head coach. Both coaches that they fired have had stellar records, and it's unclear of the reasons why they got fired. LeBron has gotten off social media amidst his feelings being hurt. UConn's Gino Auriemma becomes NCAA's all-time basketball wins leader, beating Fairleigh Dixon a lot to a little. That's his 1,218th win. Chris Sale and Tariq Skubal have both won the Cy Young Award. They are sitting on top of the world. Skubal looked really, really good. Skubal looked really, really good. That's my tidbits for the day.
Those are his tidbits, and I've gotten a little bit of an announcement, Leroy. We're going back to original Leroy's logo. You've got 3 logos.
Oh!
Logos in a theme. We're back into my nice... You know what? Okay. We'll keep your cheat. We'll keep your lifeline where you can look to the comments, and I'll even say that lifeline can be used on the theme. Okay?
Okay. Well, we have a theme.
So, yes, there is a theme as well. So I even went in and did some looking. Through the... Overall in the history of Leroy's logos, you're hitting 413. During our throwback summer, you hit 462. AI logos, you hit 550. So you did really well with the AI logos. We're back to normal, though. Back to normal, which is ironic that you do better at throwback and you do better at the AI, but not the actual logos of the schools. So
that sounds about right.
Door 1, 2, or 3. There's only 3 options because the fourth point.
Week 1, so we'll go with door 1.
Door number 1, Leroy's always favorite of letters. Letters.
This is a stupid game.
Letters to open us up here.
You see that Facebook has been like half flagging our show because of this song?
Is this the song that it flags it for?
This is the song that it flags it for.
Oh. What's it?
I'll go with Pepperdine.
Pepperdine is your guess. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Correct. That is Pepperdine. Look at you, Mr. Confident over there on Pepperdine, getting the point there. Would you like door number 2 or 3?
That's false optimism right there. I'll go with door 2.
Door number 2. Door number 2. Door number 2 is Leroy's option here. I will say you're going in order from easiest to hardest.
Okay. All right.
Not that helps you even in the least. But.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Alrighty. You got any feeling on this one?
Montana State.
Montana State is your guess.
Yes, sir.
How confident?
60%.
60%. 60% is how confident he is. John says it's the Wildcats, which, John, you get one of those. Because Leroy's correct. It's the Montana State Bobcats. That was even nice on that one, Leroy. You've had that one before. That was a repeat. And your final one for this week's Leroy's Logos. Paul knew Montana State. And I did kind of give you a hint here in saying that this is the hardest one, which means that probably the first thought to come to your mind is incorrect.
Oh, it definitely was. The first thought was definitely wrong in my head.
Which was what?
Northern Illinois.
Okay. Alrighty. You got an opportunity here to open it up 4 for 4, which have you ever done in this version of Leroy's Logos? No. You've only gotten 4 out of 4 on. You did it once in AI and once in Throwback. You've never done it. And you've never done it with Paul Reeves in attendance either.
All right, I will take. Although I doubt I'll get any help, I will take the audience guess on this.
You're going to go with the audience. Howard says Washington. And John says Huskies. And that's it. I'll be honest with you. Okay. Paul says Yukon or Northern Illinois.
It's not NIU. NIU's like a different facing dog. Yukon was the one that I thought too, but it's not blue enough.
Mm-hmm. It's not blue at all.
What, Yukon's logo or that one?
No, this one. This one's not like it's black and white. Now, I'm going to tell you this is not going to help you even in the least. On the actual logo, it says the name of the school over top in it says like in a loop. You got to guess.
You know what? I'm just going to take a stab in the dark and say Montana.
Montana is his guess. Incorrect. This is Northeastern. The Northeastern Huskies. So, Leroy. Pepperdine, Montana State, and Northeastern. What is the theme for this week's Leroy's Logos and the return of themes?
I just saw that Pepperdine logo recently, and Northwestern just barely beat Montana State. But did they play Northeast?
Earn. Northeastern.
Northeastern. Yeah, you know what? I'll say teams that have played Northwestern this year.
Since I'm a nice guy, I'll give it to you. They haven't played Northeastern yet, but they're going to next month. But you are correct.
On their
3 out of
schedule.
4. Yes,
Well,
Northwestern's basketball schedule because I'm a nice. 3 out of 4 to open it up, and man, I thought these were a little bit more challenging. Now, if they had not played Pepperdine recently, would you have gotten this?
No, I probably would have guessed something
State?
Stupid like that. I knew, and the only reason I knew is because I watched Wisconsin play Montana State, and Wisconsin barely beat them, so I was a little worried about them playing Northwestern.
So what's interesting is the Montana State we used
they're going to be dangerous down the stretch. They shot threes really, really well.
We used Montana State back on episode 25, and the theme that week was your wrong guesses. You did not get it right that day, but you had incorrectly guessed Montana State at some point in the previous 24 episodes. I don't have a note as to that there. All righty. How about a little play clock? Would you like to ask or answer first?
I will answer first.
Answer first. You sent me a message. I don't even remember when it was. The days run together when you're old like me. About the Paul Skeens baseball card. Where if you've seen this, long story short, Paul Skeens, what is it? It's a card with a part of his jersey from his MLB debut in it, and it is one of a kind. There's only one.
Only one.
And the Pirates have offered 2 Pirates season tickets behind the plate for the next 30 years, a softball game for 30 at PNC Park, coaching from Pirates alumni, and a spring training experience like none other. So I'm kind of asking you in this 40 seconds here to go multiple things. For one, they have said that card could get upwards of $500,000 for 500,000. So I ask you first off, would you take the 500 or would you take the Pirates experience? And would it change if it was the Cubs offering the same exact thing?
Go Bucks! Hey, no, seriously though. Listen, that's a great offer. But you know what? Honestly, and Paul makes a good point. Golden Auctions has also offered a ton for this, and they would help make sure you were taken care of. And I'd almost want to entrust it to a place that does that stuff for a living to make sure that I'm set, make sure that I'm good to go, and that things work out for me. But man, that'd be hard to turn down from Pittsburgh. Front row seats for baseball. I mean, that's pretty awesome. But no, I think I'd sell it.
What about if it was the Cubs?
Nope. I'd figure it out, but I would be front and center, dead front and center.
You'd be pink hat guy?
Yep, I'd be pink hat guy all day, every day.
Interesting. Now 1.2 mil.
Yeah, Golden. I saw Golden's tweet, and what they posted said, "Hey, don't entrust your card to anybody. We will make sure you're taken care of. Your kids are taken care of moving forward." And listen, that's
what are your kids gonna say when they hear that you're taking season tickets in Pittsburgh over their livelihood? Let's be honest. What's Christy gonna say to that you turned down $1.2 million for sports tickets? But that's also the thing too. I'm like 30 people to play a game. Like I don't know what 30 people I'm going to invite.
I know. I don't have 30 friends. Come on now.
Yeah, like
you want to go to spring training?
But then the worst part is that you got to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to answer your question.
So we talked about Chris Sale and Skewball and a few of the other awards, Skeens winning Rookie of the Year. So I ask you, in baseball, other than the actual World Series trophy, what is the best award to win?
MVP?
Over Cy Young?
Yeah, I mean, MVP is, you're the best player in the game. And I mean, as a pitcher, you can win the MVP as well. I mean, didn't Kershaw come close to winning that? Or in the realm about 10 years ago or so? If he didn't, he was like second in voting. Yeah, I mean, I think MVP because that just says you're the best player in the game. Or, I mean, maybe I know this might be a kind of a cop-out to you said I can't answer this, but maybe World Series MVP? Because that says you not only get a ring, but you were the best player in that. Paul, that's 30 years of season tickets.
30 years of season tickets behind home plate.
And see, if it was the Reds, that would be tough. Because, I mean, like the Pirates, I would at least get what? 12 games or 8 games? Because I think isn't it 2 road series now in that hard doing it? Or 6 games or how many it is.
Yep.
But other than that, I don't want to go watch the Pirates play the White Sox. Yeah, that sounds awful. Like, and it's probably worth more than $1 million, but it's not an immediate payoff.
Yep.
It's probably worth more than $1 million.
And not to be that guy, but who's to say Skeens does not tear his rotator cuff or has Tommy John surgery? Is never the same again, I mean, again, not to be that guy, but like.
And John's not wrong here. John's not wrong.
What am I going to talk to Livy Dunn about? Come on now.
You'd get put on a list.
Working out?
You'd get put on a list. Talking to Livy Dunn.
Listen. I love you all very, very much. But we all know.
Leroy would get himself in trouble. He would get himself in trouble. There is no question about that. No question about it. Okay, Leroy, here you go. I'm curious if they have some sort of you can't sell these tickets in there. If you get them, like if they'll have some caveat for that. There's got to be a catch. Leroy, you have been elected president of the United States. We've been hearing a lot about cabinet fillings. Who is in your cabinet, but you have to choose people like myself, Paul, John,
people
Dan,
in this group,
Caleb. What are you putting each of us in charge of when it comes to your presidential cabinet?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Paul would be Department of Defense. Dan would be Department of Education. Sam, you'd be Secretary of State. Let's see. What else are we doing? What are the other?
What about John?
Avery Cooper will be Department of Agriculture. Caleb Sweeney will be. I see you got me. Caleb Sweeney will be Road Transportation Secretary or whatever that's called.
Secretary of Transportation.
Yeah.
John would be the janitor. So I'd be your Secretary of State. You're ballsy.
Absolutely.
You're ballsy.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. John would run the Department of Health, he says.
Now we're giving that to Paul Reeves. He's been around. He's seen a thing or two because he knows a thing or two.
So Paul's not the Department of Defense anymore? Defense Secretary anymore?
Yeah, Paul is. What should we do to the Department of Health? We need somebody who's strong and fit. Buttons.
What's Buttons running?
Can you imagine? If we gave Paul weapons, Paul, you're in charge of the entire military. Have fun, man.
Oh man. Oh, what about your wife? You forgot about her.
Well, that's true.
Well, I guess she's first lady then. She is the first lady when it comes to that. Or what about Bert? Bert was in here earlier. What's Bert?
Bert was in here earlier. Bert
or Howard. You gotta give your father-in-law a job.
I don't have a position for either of them.
Wow. Aaron?
Department of BS. Make up a new title.
What about the Packers fan? She hasn't watched in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, she left after the election. We haven't talked to her in quite a while.
Oh, I mean, it's been longer than that since she's been in here.
Yeah.
Poot would be begging for mercy day one. Oh God.
Yeah.
Paul, see, here's the issue. If I'm the Secretary of State, I got to clean up your mess. So let's not have this. If you start bombing everybody, it's my job to keep peace, isn't it? Isn't that my job as Secretary of State?
John, I gave you a job, man.
What did you put him as?
I ran through them really, really quick.
Dan was Education. I'm Secretary of State. Paul's Secretary of Defense. John says he's VP.
Oh, we can pull that off.
He'd nuke the Packers and the Steelers Stadium first thing on the agenda. Hey, but see, Secretary of State.
A vote for Paul is a vote for freedom. Let me tell you right now.
Nukes. Okay, I'm ready for my last question.
Ironically, it was very, very similar to the question that you asked me, but with a little bit of a twist on it.
Oh God.
You have what's his name? The your phenom shortstop.
Ellie De La Cruz?
Yes, sorry. So you have a Ellie.
Wait, I just went. How's this tying into presidential cabinets?
No, hold on.
Okay. So this is about my first question.
Yes.
I was just I thought you were asking. It's a spinoff of your presidential cabinet question. I was like, oh, this could be dangerous. And then you're mentioning Ellie De La Cruz, and I'm like, how? Okay.
There is a Ellie De La Cruz 1-to-1 card. You are in charge of the Reds organization. What are you offering to get that card?
Honestly, probably nothing. It is a little weird that the Pirates. I don't know. If anybody needs to offer it, it's Ellie. But honestly, the Pirates offer is a really good offer. It is a really, really good offer. And I mean, maybe the Reds would do something similar. But I don't know. But I mean, it would be weird. I don't think I could actually keep a card like that. And that's the thing too with it is can you imagine being so rich that you could drop $1.2 million on a baseball card? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
To be
I debate whether I should go next door and buy a pop.
Oh,
so I mean,
I'm allowed to go to lunch one day a week. 1 day a week. But Leroy, we work in radio.
We do. That doesn't work for us.
Are you going to buy a pack of baseball cards? Because isn't it only in like the $100 pack or something?
It is. Yeah, they're only.
Will you buy one?
One of the $100 ones? Nah.
Yeah,
no.
See, I don't care. Now.
I've been really into actually indie cards. Just started making cards, and so I've been buying a lot of those.
I forgot to tell you too. So I was at the UK game last night.
Yeah.
UK game last night, and it was funny because there was a family that sat in front of us. It was like a dad. It was clearly a dad, his dad, and a son. And the son was probably 8, 10, so 12 in that range. Dad was your age, and then in his 80s or something was the grandpa. And it's funny because as soon as that kid sat down, he looked at grandpa and said, like, "Can I have your phone?" Sure. Handed him the phone. And I looked down at one point. Guess what he's playing?
What?
Your hockey card game. And I should have taken a picture, but I really didn't want to be the guy taking a picture of like a 10-year-old boy. Like I was like, I don't need to be doing that. But I just was like, and I almost just nodded to my dad, been like, Leroy plays that game. And my dad probably would have looked at me and been like, isn't that an 8-year-old's game? Been like,
season 11.
Yes, it is.
Season 11 just started this last week, my friend. Season 11.
And you've played all 11 seasons.
I've played all. It's the only game that I've stuck with since the beginning. Every other game I've kind of stopped playing. And
you don't even pay attention to it. It's the thing. You just be sitting there in class and you just hear. I got to be careful that I'm not going to start opening emails. Just unbelievable. I just threw a Post-it note on the ground. I don't know. Okay. You're presidential. I'm your Secretary of State.
Yeah. All right. We are doing something tonight for you and for our listeners and for our viewers here today. We are starting the Best Christmas Movie Tournament. Each week, we're going to be doing one round of this to kind of drag it out a little bit. But we're going to start off. And I have not set this bracket, so don't yell at me. I did not decide these movies. These movies were already set up in the bracket before I got it. This is a bracket that's already been pre-made, so don't yell at me.
I'm about to really tick some people off with one of my
You don't watch Christmas movies, I know.
Well, I don't, but there's one Christmas movie that everyone loves that I do not
that you
like
hate
at all. And it's been an ongoing thing on our morning show that I do not like this movie at all. I don't understand why people think it's good, and I think people only think it's good because other people say it's good.
Okay.
Wait. Which movie do you think I'm talking about?
Home Alone.
And I'll even ask the comment section. So you're guessing Home Alone. I won't say.
Alone. So
this is a movie that I have never liked. My parents love it. The people I work with love it, and I just
Christmas
do not
Story?
enjoy it. Are you changing your guess to Christmas Story?
Yeah, I'm changing it to Christmas Story.
Yeah, you're changing your guess to Christmas Story. Let's see what the comment section says. Well, and then when you mention it, because I'd be stunned if it's not in your bracket. I will admit that whatever the answer is. Okay, go on. John says Christmas Story.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is there are
Nick
how,
says
let me see,
man, come on, Christmas Vacation is a classic.
There are 2, 4, 6, 8.
Wait. Also, Mick needs a position in your cabinet too. You're gonna have to
hold on. A child just fell. Give me a second.
A child just fell. Oh no. Paul says Miracle on 34th Street. Is the child okay?
Yes, the child is fine, but my house is loud as hell at 10 o'clock at night.
Shouldn't your kids be in bed?
Yeah, Sam.
See, your wife can't make me sleep on the couch.
So we are doing just the first round today, but we are only doing half of the side. We want to drag this out a little bit. I'm going to document everyone has to decide the winner. So it's got to be a decision that all of us come to an agreement on. All right.
Well, we just vote, and whichever one's majority is.
Whoever has most votes wins. Okay.
Okay.
So Miracle on 34th Street versus Home Alone. That is the first matchup.
Paul Reeves says Miracle on 34th Street. That movie sucks. That's
it's
the black
old,
and
though. I wouldn't expect Paul to like it. That's an old movie, man. That's the
black and white one. Now, see, Home Alone is not the answer to the question I was discussing earlier, but I still am not like a huge.
You're not a big Home
fan.
Alone fan?
I'm going to vote for Miracle on 34th Street just because I know I'll be the lone one on that train. Paul says Home Alone. Mick says Home Alone. What are you voting?
I'm voting Home Alone as well.
Okay. So
All right.
I'll be the lone one on Miracle 34th Street there.
All right. So Home Alone wins round 1. Okay. Next up, a movie that I never liked, and I'll probably get flack for it. Elf versus the Santa Claus.
You don't like Elf?
Nope, never liked it. Why is it that you get to not like a normal Christmas movie, but I can't?
You don't. Elf is the winner of your bracket. It's the greatest Christmas movie ever made. It is the great Elf. Yes. What is wrong with Elf?
Will Ferrell.
What is wrong with Will Ferrell?
All right, Elf seems to be the winner.
Yes,
I
because
see it. I'm not disagreeing with her. Remember, you get to like what movies you like, but all of a sudden I'm a criminal for not liking.
Yes, because I have good takes.
Okay, says the man who thinks the SEC is the greatest conference in the freaking world.
Yeah,
all right,
Leroy,
next
you
up.
are a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins.
Will Ferrell sucks.
Christy, no one asked you.
Ah, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right, next up. Christmas Vacation versus The Holiday. I don't know what The Holiday is.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation. I don't know what The Holiday is either. What's The Holiday?
I don't. I mean, I just said I don't. 2006.
The Holiday? And
It's listed on this sheet.
Who is in The Holiday? Cameron Diaz and Jude Law. Jack Black? Dumped into press, English Rose Iris agrees to swap homes with similarly unlucky love in California Amanda for a much-needed break. Iris finds herself in a palatial Hollywood mansion while Amanda navigates the lanes of a
Is that a Hallmark
picture-perfect
movie?
English village. It doesn't actually look like it. It did $200 million in the box office. How have I never heard of this?
I've never heard of that movie ever.
Wild. 7 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, Christmas Vacation, absolutely.
All right. And our final one for this week, we'll get the other round of this bracket next week. The Grinch looks like the Jim Carrey version versus It's a Wonderful Life.
The Grinch. It's a Wonderful Life is always the one that my mom feels like she has to watch on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's just so slow.
Yeah.
That's not the answer to the question. So I guess we have to wait till next week to see what the answer to my question is. Yeah, right. Grinch wins.
Seems that we're going with the Grinch, and we will go with the Grinch. So winners for today, Home Alone will face Elf. Vacation will face Grinch next week. We'll have the other side of the bracket next week. We'll have the other side of the bracket next week.
Elf smokes Home Alone. Smokes it. Christmas Vacation Grinch, though, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's tough. That's really hard.
All right.
Interesting.
So there's our Christmas bracket that we're doing for the holidays for best Christmas movie.
Can you at least tell us what the other matchups are next week so we at least know what we're looking forward to?
I can tell you now if you want to know what they are, but
so we can ponder. Yeah, we're not going to vote.
Yeah.
John wants to know.
I'm not even going to read them in order. Okay. Love Actually, White Christmas,
Never seen
A Christmas Carol, Charlie Brown Christmas, Die Hard, Nightmare Before Christmas, and A Christmas Story.
Okay.
And White Christmas, if I didn't say that one.
You did. Okay. Well, clearly the champion is coming from the side of the bracket we did tonight. Because that's a lot to be desired, left to be desired on the right side there. Okay. Autographs. You got autographs?
I do. Let's get to it. I'm going to give you guys all of the autographs for this week are guys that are in the Hall of Fame. All of the autographs this week are guys that are in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that'll help you or not, but that is what.
Apparently, John likes Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if you've been getting some of the vibes on that, but it seems like he's got some hot takes.
He like. I don't. He's weird.
Well, I mean, we knew that.
I've never seen that movie in its entirety.
To be honest with you, I don't think I have either. But then again, a lot of the movies you just mentioned on that right side, I don't know if I've seen them either.
Can you see my screen?
I can now.
Okay.
Can you zoom in a little bit on the autograph?
Yes,
itself?
I can, or at least I hope so.
Just use your. Do you have a mouse? Oh my! This is, I'm assuming, a hockey player, right?
Nope, they're all baseball. They're all baseball Hall of Famers.
That was a poor joke. So KJ. I was thinking Randy Johnson, but I don't think that's right. I'm going to say Randy Johnson, but I don't think that's right.
Okay, I can't see, but where are the comments saying anything?
It is Junior. It is Junior. Yep, Paul's right. It is Ken Griffey Jr., isn't it?
It is, absolutely, yeah. Paul got it right.
That's Ken Griffey Jr. I know that
Yep.
one. Oh gosh.
This is the hardest one. This is the hardest one on the list.
That's not an actual autograph. That's did London do that?
It is the first letter is a M, and it looks like there's a P on there.
Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps. I have no idea. Nolan Ryan? That's not like an awful guess, though, by John. Give Paul a second to answer. I have no idea. Who is it?
You want the answer?
Yeah.
It's Mike Piazza.
Interesting. Okay, I think Fred Mom? That's what it looks like. Is that what's his nickname? He's got a nickname, doesn't he?
He does.
He does. I know who. I'm almost positive I know who it is. Fred McGriff.
Yeah.
What was his nickname?
Crime Dog.
That's right. Crime Dog. Fred McGriff. Yeah, that one I did at least pull out there. Before do we want to do my off my chest? Let's do picks.
Do your off your chest before we do picks.
I was going to do the opposite, but we can do my off my chest because it's a really quick one, and it's more of a like I said when we started the show, what really grinds my gears. Peter Griffin did that. So today I was doing my grocery shopping, and Leroy, you know what really grinds my gears?
When they're all out of Sun Chips.
No, that's actually usually for the best. But for one, I did buy today Tapatio Doritos. Haven't tried them yet. But I did try. They had buffalo Doritos. Delicious. Did have those. I think Doritos is they're all good.
That's because chips are like $7 now, man.
See, luckily the Doritos, they've been on sale, so it's only been $3 for a bag of chips. So, pretty good. Sun Chips Slow, says John. What really grinds my gears, though, is when people are shopping.
Yeah.
And they just leave their cart in the middle of the aisle to go get something.
Oh,
it drives me crazy.
You left your boomer card on the floor, my friend. You better pick it up.
Well, see, the funny thing is it was a boomer who did it. So what happened is this person left their cart to go to the other end of the aisle to go and grab something. And of course, the person who was coming the other way, because, stick to the right and so on. If you need to go to the left, walk over to the left or whatever, was stopping immediately next to that cart because they needed something there. So therefore, I had nowhere to go. And I was just stopped and sitting there. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, why are we doing this? Leaving your grocery cart in the middle of
the whole discussion in the aisle, man. Like,
yes, especially in small towns.
You guys literally saw each other 2 days ago.
Yes, it's like just can I just get my Doritos and move it? Yeah, I was this close to moving the cart. And John, I agree with this too. Put your cart in the carousel.
I'm just proud that you called it a cart and not a buggy.
Yeah, I'm not a heathen. I was this close to, and then the guy walked and he moved it himself. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a nice guy for about 10 seconds, and then he came over. But I was like, just grinds my gears. And what grinds my dad's gears at the grocery store, And it kind of, I don't know if this is just a him thing. Paul, you're wrong. It is not a buggy. It is called a grocery cart. Is, when you're driving down the aisle. So there's one that bugs me and one that bugs him. When you're driving, like down the parking lot, and somebody is walking into the store, but they're walking right down the middle of the road.
Down the middle of the, yes.
It drives it is one of those things. It's like, Dad, it's okay. It's okay.
You have the whole lane to walk in.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. It just drives crazy. What drives me crazy, though, is just like at our Walmart, we have the diagonal spots. You don't pull through the diagonal spots. You're supposed to follow the arrows, because if you pull through, then you're not going to go in the right way. It's not that hard. I'm done. There we go. It just grinds my gears, Leroy. Grinds my gears. Grinds my gears. Pick contest for this week. I'm up by 6 points. America, you're behind Leroy right now, which is a little embarrassing. Would you say so? It's a little embarrassing. But
I'm right here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you lagged out again. Sorry, my bad. Let's jump into our pick contest. No Cougar game this week. So, Leroy, no points for you. Sorry about that.
I do have girls basketball on Friday.
I know. So I am back in, and America will give them the chance as well. We'll give them the chance as well. Since they're losing, they can still jump in and do this. But because it's Taylorville women's basketball, first off, what's the game? And I get 3 questions to ask you. Right?
You do get 3 questions.
And then next week I get 2, and the week after I get 1, and you'll get the same thing for 2 weeks from today when we start picking some Coug games.
That's true. So Taylorville is playing in their Thanksgiving holiday tournament or whatever tournament that we played in for 20, 25 years or whatever. And the Taylorville girls play against the Hillsboro Hilltoppers.
And this is not one of my 3 questions. This is one that we get regardless. This is in Taylorville?
It's in Taylorville. Yes, it's game 1 of a 2-week tournament.
My goodness, that's a long tournament. Okay, so I get 3
they
questions.
They play on Friday, Saturday, and then Friday, Saturday next week.
So I'm gonna give one of my 3 questions to either John or Paul. So they get to. They get to ask questions, and I'm gonna pick which one I want you to answer. But I'll take 2. Right. What was Hillsboro's record last year?
I'll have to look. Give me a second.
Or do you know a vicinity?
They were okay. They were okay last year.
So 500?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll see while we're talking if I can't get you a better record here. Hold on.
Roughly, what percentage of Taylorville's scoring returns from last year?
85.
85. Okay. John and Paul, do you have a question that you would like to ask when we pick this Taylorville game? Because John wants to know if he gets a question. So, John, I'll let you get a question. Okay. You know what? I'll take John's question here. Last time they played, who won? Or what was the result of the game?
Taylorville won 71-35 last year.
I'm going to take Taylorville. I'm going to take Taylorville.
I'm getting you Hillsboro's record right now from last year.
Sorry,
they were
Paul,
15-17 last year.
Your question.
They were 15-17 last year.
500. Paul, your question come in. So we're going to take. I'm taking Taylorville. America, who would you like to pick for this week's points? I'm taking Taylorville. John's taking Taylorville. So Paul can pick Hillsboro if he wants. Hillsboro? Is that what it is?
Hillsboro Hilltoppers. Yes, I know.
Oh, go Tops. Ooh, that's tough for me to go against the Tops. So are they the Lady Tops then?
No, I think they're just regular Hilltoppers.
Okay. Paul is also taking Taylorville, which Leroy, now that we have locked in our picks, is the correct pick, right?
Taylorville's going to kill him.
Okay.
Taylorville's going to kill
him. Leroy, Kentucky travels to Austin, Texas to face Texas. Here's a wild stat for you. This is the furthest west Kentucky has ever played a football game.
Really?
Yeah. Wild stat for you. But I mean, you got to think that
the ever powerful SEC never goes out west.
Well, Kentucky doesn't either because they don't want to go out west because teams are decent out there. And why would they? But then again, all their bowl games are in Florida.
I know.
So it's like, why they
Or
have no
Nashville.
reason to go west. Yeah, go out west. Who are you taking, Leroy?
Texas.
Yeah, I'm taking Texas. And America. I'm just gonna put Texas for America because I can't imagine that they're going to be picked.
Paul is definitely not picking UK.
He might.
John might.
John's taking Texas. I'm just going to go ahead and put Texas in there for the pick. Northwestern travels to the Big House to take on Michigan. Leroy,
I had a chance to go to this game, but I have 2 basketball games that day, and I just can't get it. If it was one, I could get out of doing one. I can't get out of doing 2.
I'm taking Michigan.
Yeah, me too.
Paul did take Texas too.
Listen. I know Michigan's going to win, but I would love nothing more than to pick up a win on the road for that Wildcat team, get into the bowl game.
Yeah, you just like to be there too when it would happen because you would talk a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, I would. Oh yeah,
a lot of shit and probably end up in the hospital.
Definitely.
I am very sad Leroy doesn't have to jump in the lake. Will you do it anyways?
We have to do something else, like Northwestern winning, or Northwestern getting to the Sweet 16.
There you go. Will you do it?
Are you all right with that?
If Northwestern makes the Sweet 16?
The Sweet 16, yeah, 100%.
And see, the thing is for Kentucky. Oh, Paul's taking Northwestern, but it is a tie, and the tie goes to us. We both pick Michigan. Paul takes Northwestern. That's a first.
I like it.
That's a first. Western Kentucky, Leroy, travels to face Liberty.
What WKU team is going to show up?
People might be sitting in the corner watching that one. If you know, you know. Paul hates Michigan more than you, Leroy. Does that make you feel better?
I like it a little bit, yeah. Yeah, actually, that does make me feel a little better.
John and Paul are both taking Liberty. Who are you taking? You get to make the pick first this time.
I'm going to say WKU rights the ship, go Tops.
And I'm going to take Liberty. I was going to take the opposite of you no matter what. So I was just going to let you take that in. No Bengals game this week. The Bears...
What are you going to do with yourself?
Not cry. Because we're not going to have my heart...
lose if you don't play.
My heart is not going to be broken by the Bengals this weekend. Can't guarantee that it won't by other things, but it won't be by the Bengals this weekend. Bears host the Vikings. I will pick first, and I'm going to take the Vikings because I cannot put my well-earned intentions behind the Bears right now.
They looked better last week.
Did they?
Yes, they did. But you know what? I'll go with Minnesota. That way I'm not disappointed.
You're going to be disappointed no matter what. Let's be real.
Shut up. Why can't they just get blown out, Sam? Why can't they lose by 30? Why we got to string it along to the last play?
You're talking to a Bengals fan. We are the epitomes of having our hearts we both are the epitomes. John's picking the Vikings. Do I even need to ask Paul's pick?
Absolutely
do I really not? Okay. Vikings is America's pick. I mean, Paul, if you want to change your pick and pick the Bears, but it doesn't matter because the tiebreaker goes to us and we both pick the Vikings with it. My first game of the week this week, Leroy. Big one in Conference USA. And legitimately, this is a big game. Sam Houston State travels to Jacksonville State. I believe that if Western wins, they will face the winner of this game almost assuredly in the Conference USA Championship.
I'll go with Jacksonville State.
Leroy's taking Jacksonville State. I will also take Jacksonville State in this game. Paul will also take Jacksonville State. Do you know who Jacksonville State's head coach is?
I do not. I should, but I don't.
Rich Rodriguez.
Wow. Okay.
Jacksonville State is America's pick. John's not taking Jacksonville State, so it's a tie. Goes to us. We both pick Jacksonville State. Leroy, what's your first game of the week?
49ers take on the Green Bay Packers.
Where?
I think Green Bay, but I do not. Don't quote me on that.
Well, I'm going to have to figure that out because that might change my pick when it comes to that. It is in
For what it's
Green
worth-
Bay.
For what it's worth, Christy says 49ers.
Okay, Christie's taking the 49ers. Somebody is getting Snapchats. 49ers at Packers. I'm going to take the Niners. John is taking the 49ers. So America's pick is 49ers. What is your pick, Leroy?
I will go with the evil empire from the north.
Is that Packers?
Pittsburgh's not playing in this game.
The other evil empire.
Baltimore's not playing in this game.
My evil empire.
Detroit?
A lot.
Detroit?
No, I
Ohio
like Detroit.
State?
I like Detroit.
Ohio State? Okay. My second game of the week this week. You know what we're going to do here for this one, Leroy? We're going to do the old tell me when to stop. Okay, so I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm going now, so tell me when to stop. Tell me when to stop and put the finger down.
Now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You were so close to doing an actual good game. You almost picked Army at Notre Dame. But instead, Troy travels to Louisiana. Troy at Louisiana.
Louisiana, I guess.
I agree. I'm taking Louisiana in that game. I'm going to take the Ragin' Cajuns. John's taking Troy. Let's see if Paul will take Troy too and be a little. Troy beat Georgia Southern last week. They suck, Leroy. Does that mean you're picking them, Paul? Like I don't know if that's your pick. Oh, Paul's taking Louisiana, so it's tie. So that means America's pick is Louisiana, unless Christy has a pick. She's still standing there.
Troy versus Louisiana.
Who's Troy?
What is her nickname? It's in Alabama.
I guess Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Big
is
sport
America's
on their
pick.
logo.
Okay.
Look at you. You're learning. You're
Is that
learning.
logos that you're doing?
Of course.
Look at him go. Your final game of the week.
Arizona State takes on BYU.
That is in Arizona State, though, right?
Yep.
Is that the Cardinals?
No.
No.
Arizona State. What's their logo? Thing?
Sun Devils.
It was Sun Devils.
Ooh. I'm going to take Arizona State.
I'm going to take BYU.
You're taking the Cougs. John's taking Arizona. Let's see what Paul jumps in here takes. Christy, does she have a pick for Arizona State, BYU?
Arizona State versus BYU. Flip a coin. Pick one.
Arizona.
She's taking Arizona State. John's taking Arizona State, so Arizona State is America's pick. Sorry, Paul. Your vote is irrelevant when it comes to this. Not that we don't care, but it doesn't particularly matter when it comes to this. Did Christy see Caitlin Clark's golf shot off the tee? Paul wants to know.
I think if it's the one that I saw.
Colton Herta was there.
Yes.
It
And
looked
God, the amount of people that go to watch her golf now too is crazy.
it looked like a Leroy shot.
It wasn't the best.
It's
Not great, Bob.
Not great.
Why the hell? I can see everyone going for basketball. Why the hell do you want to go follow for golf?
Because athleticism sometimes just does not translate to other sports.
Golf
It
sucks.
knows no bounds, Christy. It knows no bounds. That's our pick contest for this week. And really, we've gone long here, Leroy. This has been a long show here.
We
today.
knew that we had a lot that we were going to get through tonight.
So, Christy, I was mentioning earlier, and Leroy put in his pick. I said that there is one Christmas movie that everyone loves. My parents love it. My bosses love it. But I think it is the most overrated movie of all time. What do you think it was? What do you think my answer is for that?
What the hell did he say? I was listening downstairs.
I did not give the movie that it is.
Oh, what do I think is your worst?
Yeah, he hasn't given the movie yet. What do you think his answer is? We all came up with our different guesses of what we think.
I said Christmas Vacation or Christmas Story.
Okay.
It's not Christmas Vacation, I'll tell you that. It's not Christmas. Christmas Vacation is a classic.
Yeah.
Peter Clark. You don't like that movie?
Well, I don't like Christmas Story. I don't like Christmas Vacation. I'll stick to my Home Alones.
No, she likes the Hallmark Channel where
Yes,
the same,
I do.
where the movie is the exact same no matter what.
So where they fall in love.
Yeah.
Paul says, Christy, Paul says, please don't show us Leroy's soiled underwear while you're folding the clothes back there.
I'm not folding any clothes. I folded the shirt that fell on the floor.
You guys wear underwear?
On that note, we'll see you next week.
When are we gonna find out what you're
Next week.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You have to tune in next week to find
Next
out.
week. Next week we'll find out what the movie is that I think is vastly overrated because I'm not. What's underweight? I don't know what underweight is.
Underwater?
Underwear.
Oh.
What are the Christmas movies?
We'll see you next week, Leroy.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.